Hello, everybody. It is June 27th right now. It's actually noon my time, and we're going to talk quickly about Bitcoin and some bullish news on the market today. The market so Bitcoin is up 2.7%. We're seeing more buying happening at the moment. Yesterday looked pretty concerning. We were discussing, if you saw the video yesterday, we are talking about how there's a lot less confidence in the market the last 2 hours of the day yesterday. If we're looking at the 4 hour here, yesterday we're seeing this 4 hour on the 22nd of June was pretty, bullish signal to the whole market that buyers are sitting here on the sidelines below the 30K, and not even giving a chance for sales to drive the market down and also close the price action below the 30K. So that kind of signal to the market that look, buyers are lurking here in the bottom, just how we've been seeing here from before. If we're looking at the daily, we're seeing here that even from before here, we didn't have any close below these levels for a while. We're seeing a lot of wicks to the bottom here, showing that there's some sort of accumulation happening, or I wouldn't say accumulation, maybe redistribution, where that selling pressure is being absorbed by the buyers at these lower prices, right? Specifically at the 30K. So we saw that happen. This is on May 19th. We're seeing that we really dropped heavy all the way down here, and then the price went back up all the way to the 36,000. So we can see here, this is painting the picture that there is accumulation happening at this level, and a lot of buyers are actually, in fact, absorbing that selling pressure and accumulating, basically. So this is what we're having, and then again, more and more negative news were out there. China crackdown, talks about SEC, higher interest rates. All these things have been really pushing the price action down, but so far so good. Looks like Bitcoin does want to hold above the 30K, and so again, we go back to the 4 hour here. We'll see that this signal to the market that, look, this is a nice hammer candle. Sellers tried to push the price action all the way here down to these lower levels, to the 28,600. Buyers came right in and pushed the price action back up, and then now at this level here. So if we're looking at the 4 hour, this candle over here yesterday, the first 4 hour candle of the day, was actually the worst closing we had, right? So we're seeing here, if we go all the way back, this is the worst closing candle for Bitcoin. And it was just signaling that we're not as confident as we were here. But then again, could it be that there was just not just because weekend action, CME, gap closing, futures closing, all these things is that adding to the market? 100% it is. And we're coming close here to the end of the month. We want to see how everything plays out. Tomorrow's Monday, beginning of the week, and we want to see what happens. So yesterday was this whole weekend, or the end of the week, was pretty downward price action. Now we're seeing this happen. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at the 33,000 range for the day here. You're seeing we went low all the way to the 31,000. 900. Maybe I'll just switch here to the daily chart. So went all the way down here to 32,300. Not even actually. Low here, I'm just looking at the top here, so if you guys can see. So low was 31,970, high was 33,500, and we're currently sitting at the 33,300. So we want to see, are we going to continue to move upwards or no? Specifically, because if we're looking at the daily here, sure, let's just compare also again to June 22nd. So what is that telling us? June 22nd, we were at those lower levels, and we had more and more buying happening, although sellers tried their best to bring the price action down. That didn't happen. Buyers pushed the price action past the opening price here. You'll see it, and that's a very bullish sign, and that's why you see the next 2 days were actually bullish for Bitcoin, and then we hit the weekend here on Friday. So now sellers didn't seem to push the price action below the 30K this time. We went all the way down exactly, exactly at the, what do we have here in terms of a low? 30,151. We pushed back up. So there wasn't much selling also, as much as here that we have, right? And we still had some sort of a wick to the bottom. Sellers tried to push, buyers came back in and pushed the price action up again. So is this a bullish sign? Right, this is what we need to ask ourselves. Is this a bullish sign telling us that sellers didn't even try at this time, even after having this massive candle, which we also had again on June 21st? That's what we want to see happen. And I think this price action from yesterday also signaled for the market today that, hey, look, there's more buyers still. We reached this level. We didn't even reach below as much as we reached last time on June 22nd. And again, buyers mimic the same price action and pushed it back up again, like they've been doing here the whole time. So again, how long will the selling pressure continue? We want to see. There's a bunch of news out there, and we want to see how it actually plays out. And if I'm looking here at the 4 hour, what do we see here? So stochastic RSI is all the way at the top. RSI is sitting at the 52, 53. So it's a pretty neutral. It's been having this at least had a higher high here, a higher low, sorry, since June 21st. And maybe if I take the stochastic, here's a bunch of lines, so you guys don't grill me in the comments there. So we did have actually a higher low on the RSI itself, and we're reaching against some sort of a resistance. So we want to see how that plays out. And even again, if you're looking here from June 15th, we've been actually downtrending, and we established this. It's pretty clear where that resistance is. Let me just take off all these indicators as well, so you can see what I'm talking about. Pretty clear established resistance. 1, 2, 3, and then as soon as we broke out here, went above, came back to retest, pushed up, and then buyers actually failed to have some sort of follow through in the uptrend. Now we dropped again and found that support at it. So this is a pretty important resistance turned support right now, and we want to see how the buyers will take that signal. So this is where we're sitting at right now. We want to see again. You can even do the same thing here, where you're seeing that more and more resistance. I guess there's more of a most recent resistance. We want to see how this actually continues to happen, or continues to grow or develop in terms of the price action. We've been talking here, if you're watching the live stream, ever since on May 19th, we're saying we got to have a lot of patience during this month, right? May to June, we're saying we need a lot of patience, because look at how sideways that price action is. There's so many ignored bear signs where we're dipping below the 30. Everyone was talking about dipping below the 30, and if it dips below the 30, we're just gonna go all the way down. And again, everyone was also talking about, a break above this resistance that we have here is also good. It's gonna continue to push us all the way up. And so buyers are ignoring some bullish signs, and sellers are ignoring some bearish signs. And that's when we need to see how the market reshuffles itself, what's the redistribution of these assets of Bitcoin. And we now know there's almost, so I think it's more than 50% of Bitcoin now is accumulated by whales, by big players. And it got transferred. If you guys go check the SOPR, which is the spent output profit ratio for Bitcoin, it's basically calculating, if let's say whatever coins that were circulating here, right? Whatever Bitcoins that were actually being circulated here, bought or sold, what was the last times? What was the last time it was moved? Was it moved at a higher price? So was it bought at a higher price? And was it bought at a higher price recently, right? Is it the past 6 months? And it was turning out that all these coins that were actually, all these Bitcoins that were being sold over here were actually mainly sold at a loss. So, and it's a loss at people that actually got in at the beginning of the year. So all the new people that came into action, the guys that have been in here for a while, know what's going on, and they know what Bitcoin is actually capable of. And now this is a level where, we're actually like 55% down, and I would like to acquire more. I've been in it for a while. I want more of that. And we see major institutions actually also adding to their holdings. So now, again, besides that, I just want to keep this video very short. Very short. There's also more, I guess, bullish news out there. A Forbes article came out yesterday, just talking about asset managers suddenly becoming Bitcoin bulls at the CME, with Bitcoin prices briefly dipping below the 30K on Tuesday, and various investors seeing a downside to possibly 20,000, which we all know everyone's looking at that. A growing number of asset managers have begun betting on a short-term rise on the cryptocurrency at the CME. The latest CFTC data for June 15th shows asset managers having 517 longs, which is here represented on this diagram, 517 long Bitcoin futures contracts, which bet on a rise in Bitcoin price, a 35% increase over the previous week. The last time asset managers had more than 500 long futures contract was in the fourth quarter of 2020, when Bitcoin prices initiated a string of record highs. So the growth in bullish bets has been so sudden that this group is almost back to a net neutral position despite being heavily bearish over the last few months. For context, this group was the first to slowly start shorting the asset back in late January at the exchange as Bitcoin raised past the 35,000. They became net short on February 23rd, following a tumble in Bitcoin price from 58,400 to 44,900, and stayed that way as Bitcoin lost 50% of its value. So we're seeing those big, asset managers now rethinking those positions in terms of Bitcoin. It's a pretty long article, but the summary, I guess, this data leaves a few key takeaways. Asset managers are a major participant that drive the bulk of other future markets, such as Euro futures, and attract banks to take the opposite trade of their trades in whatever market they operate. Therefore, it is reasonable to expect their participation to grow to grow as the market matures further. Hedge funds have been operating as the largest market makers for crypto space, and it is welcome news if asset managers and banks grow to rival hedge funds in liquidity provisioning. The more liquidity, the more future growth and tighter pricing I've offered by the futures market. And looking ahead, the reshuffle of asset managers' open interest suggests that most of them believe that we are close to the bottom of the current bearish sentiment and that Bitcoin could start to climb again, I guess, which is pretty nice to see here. So I'll leave all these articles for you in the description if you want to read up on it. I don't want to really go over everything here. It's probably going to take me a long time. But also, they're talking about hashing out a future. Is Bitcoin hash rate drop an opportunity in disguise? I think it is. Almost 60-70% of all Bitcoin mining power was in China, situated in four provinces. One of them, Inner Mongolia, was heavily based on coal power plants. And yeah, they're just talking about the China crackdown on Bitcoin mining operations has led to a significant drop in the network's hash rate. But industry participants believe it presents an incredible opportunity for the wider mining ecosystem. We don't want to have 60 or 70% of Bitcoin. It is decentralized, the blockchain, but you can also have more leverage when and you're at more of a risk of impacting the actual blockchain when almost 70% of its backbone, its system, its server is based in one country. And anything that happens in that country, we saw what happened this first day here back in April 18th. That was the first day where we had that, quote unquote, power outage in China, and that caused, hash rate to drop significantly. And price is correlated with the hash rate as well. And yeah, ever since it's been crackdowns in China on miners, and we're seeing those guys starting to kind of reshuffling their positions and migrate to the west, migrate to Kazakhstan, where we're seeing that happen. They're building more facilities or just going to those either to Europe or Eastern European countries to actually continue their mining operations there. Difficulty, which is Bitcoin's difficulty, has gone down in three of the past four adjustments, and the next adjustment may be the largest downward adjustment in Bitcoin's history. For miners outside of China who focus on maximizing their BTC accumulation, this is an incredible opportunity, as the hash rate value is increasing rapidly during times when everybody would have been expecting the opposite. So this is pretty good. We're seeing even miners actually migrating to Texas. So that's what's happening. That big piece of pie, that big piece of the pizza is now going to less and less and less being distributed. Still, big facilities are involved. Those big miners are still involved, but it's being, that big piece of the pie is being dissected more and more and cut more and more to the smaller guy, and that's even more rewarding. So that's why difficulty is actually also decreasing to actually mine Bitcoin. Now, the biggest news, I guess, recently here and today, this is a couple of days ago, Binance to cease operations on Ontario following regulatory crackdown. Binance has been under scrutiny globally for a while, and I guess now it got to Ontario saying you're not registered, this and this and that. And there was also a bunch of bybit was also discussed during the hearing. So last week, the Ontario Securities Commission announced it would be holding hearings regarding cryptocurrency exchange bybit, flouting Canadian law. Additionally, the regulator took steps against two companies associated with Qcoin. So it's kind of this is kind of rough. So Japanese and Canadian Binance users worried about service ending in their countries might risk easier, knowing that trading for some American users persisted for months on the main Binance site, even after requests for users to migrate to Binance US. Additionally, I guess, which is a funny thing here, but Binance CEO was saying he admitted that Americans find quote unquote intelligent ways to circumvent the geo fence, which is pretty, I mean, yeah, everybody, this is, you can easily, I guess, people can easily go around this, but again, it's not really legal. So, following suit, UK regulator bans Binance from regulated activities in the country. I saw this news today. Looking at the article, also came out today, and I think, yeah, it actually did come out today. The UK's financial watchdog has ordered Binance to stop undertaking any regulated activities in the country. Binance has to stop these services in the UK by June 30th. But since the exchange pulled its application for the register, it can't even offer unregulated service either, and including spot trading. So again, I'll leave this in the description for you to read up on. And again, you guys have been hearing me and all. I guess in the live streams, if you're watching, if you're not, then make sure you hit the bell icon to get notified every time we're live. I think crypto will be held on NFTs backs. I think NFTs and the NFT space is definitely going to be the main use case here soon for crypto. We're seeing musicians, we're seeing artists, we're seeing graffiti artists, we're seeing everybody, rappers, hip hop, whatever genre you're in, where there's a creative process, people love to join in on it's not a hype anymore. This is a lot of money in NFTs. And everybody talks about, well, you can't touch it, you can't see, you can't feel. Same thing with all these kids playing Fortnite, right? And buying different skins that add nothing to the gameplay. People like to customize their houses, to personalize their houses, to personalize their rooms, and they also like to personalize their internet experience, their cyberspace, I guess, right? And their gaming experiences. Same thing with COD Warzone. You're buying different, what's it called? Skins for your guns and all that, and it looks nice, and everybody likes it. It doesn't add anything, right? But people like that, and we know that. Marvel Entertainment to launch NFTs. Fans can soon hunt for rare NFT comic books, and yeah, for the NFT venture, Marvel has partnered with Orbis Blockchain Technologies Limited, a firm that operates the Vive or VV or whatever that's called digital collectibles app. The application is available on iOS and Android. With the app, Marvel fans can buy and trade the company's unique offerings. So again, it's the same thing. This is like you owning the digital version of a Mona Lisa, and we've been seeing that grow. We saw a lot of musicians digitizing and tokenizing their albums and putting them on an NFT platform. People are going crazy over it. 5 million, 10 million, 20, $25 million within 24 hours. Like it's nothing. People flock or flood or whatever. Anyways, people just race towards those NFTs, and the customer base is there. Instagram also realizes it. I think a month ago they were having a workshop for creators that are actually involved in the NFT space, and they don't even care what Bitcoin's doing. They don't care what Ethereum is doing. They don't care. They don't even know what the crypto space is. A lot of those people that are buying those NFTs, they don't care, and I think that's probably pretty good, because this is just taking the use case of cryptocurrencies. This is what cryptocurrency is all about, use case. And this right here is bringing millions to a lot of whoever is actually involved. And yeah, fans are ready to buy, and that's what it is. Whether you like it or not, you can't ignore the fact that NFTs it's actually beyond the hype. It's there. The money's there, and yeah, NBA Top Shop. I think that's what it's called. Same thing everywhere. Every time you want to go and buy something, it's always sold out. So keep that in mind. I think NFTs will definitely play a huge role in this in society and in the just crypto space in general. And I think it's actually going to hold it on its back. I just don't see it being talked about much, except for our boy Gary Vee, which is just spearheading this whole conversation. So, anyways, I'll leave all these articles in the description for you, guys. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. If you actually like it, that helps out the channel a lot. Check out our Discord as well. We have the link in the description. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, we also have that there. And what else do I have to say here? Nothing. I guess have a great day, and thank you for watching.